Welcome to NEXTGames Assault Series, Mamool Training Grounds, Part 2. Now in this episode, we will cover the second half of runs in this zone. Now the sixth run in this zone is called Imperial Treasure Retrieval. Now for success, all you need to do is find a gem that is in a coffer and return it to the starting NPC, Zehakim. Now you only need to return one for success, but if you're farming points, you can try to get more for additional points. Now the quickest way I found to take this one on is to just follow the path to the top and then go to this location here to find a coffer with a gem. You then just need to turn around and come back the way you came, keeping in mind that there will be one or two Mamool that you could encounter on your way back to the NPC. Keep your eye on the map and ahead of you to make sure one of them is not heading towards you and make your way back. Now if one of them is heading towards you, you want to avoid it by going back in the other direction around this section here. Now if the Mamool tags you on your return trip, he's going to take your gem from you and you will respawn at the starting NPC. So make sure that you take your time on that return trip to make sure that that doesn't happen. Now if that does happen to occur, you need to then find another coffer with a gem in it for the win. Keep in mind that as the run goes on, Mamool will also find coffers and gems inside themselves. So if you are farming points or happen to have yours taken, you can at times tag other Mamool for gems, so keep this in mind with your farming strategy. This brings us to the next run called Blitzkrieg, and it's one that can definitely take even present-day players a bit longer than most runs to defeat. Now this run took me a little over 10 minutes, for instance. The goal is simple: kill 200 enemies. Now each of these enemies only takes a few hits to kill, but with the sheer number of what you have to do in a short amount of time, it's what makes this take a period of time. Now be sure that you take advantage of some form of AoE weapon skill to continually clear out the enemies around you and cause more to spawn. Now you normally don't really have to chase down enemies to encounter them, as this room will just continually spawn them as you kill them, and shortly after spawning, normally charge at you and attack. Now after you've killed 200, the Rune of Release will spawn here. Now if you're farming points, you want to focus on killing only Mamool at the start of the run, and doing so will cause an NM called the Blue Thunder Kajul to spawn. Once you kill him, he's going to drop a key that will allow you to go here and open a cage that will unlock an additional 100 enemies to be killed for additional points. Now this brings us to our 8th run in this zone, this one called Marids in the Mist. Now in this run, you need to subdue or kill 8 Marid. To do so, speak with the starting NPC Zimhad, and he will give you a Thunder Guard dart that will subdue a Marid when used. You want to be sure to subdue at least one of the Marid for the win, but you can always go back to the starting NPC and get more darts if you want to subdue more for increased points return. Now it won't always work, so I suggest that you start trying to use the dart on the first few Marids you encounter to make sure that you get the win. You will find 2 Marids in each of these 4 sections around the map, so make your way around to each room trying to use the dart and subdue any Marid that you find. Once done, you have won the run, and if that's all you're interested in, you can just quickly run around and kill the rest of the Marids for the Rune of Release to spawn at I9. Now the next run is definitely the most challenging one that we've encountered in this series for present-day players. It's called Azure Ailments, and for success in this run, you need to become afflicted with 3 of 7 negative status ailments and speak with the NPC Garjem while one is currently active on you. Now there are many types of enemies in the zone who can give you different ailments. You can get inflicted with amnesia from Kikurin, who use Kibosh, bio from the spells that Porogo use, disease from Lindworm's Foul Breath, slow from either Spider's Spiderweb ability or from Lindworm's Chomp Rush ability, strength down from the Awful Eye ability used by the Buggarts, attack down from the Acid Mist AoE ability from Leeches, and evasion down from the Lizards who use Infrasonics, which is also an AoE ability. Now the first issue is some of these abilities are going to be rarely used by these enemies. The next issue is at this level you normally kill these enemies in just a few hits, well before they ever get TP to use a single ability. The last issue is most present-day players, especially ones who have mastered jobs, will almost always resist the status ailments even if naked. Now these issues can make for some very frustrating runs for present-day players. The best way I found to take this one on was to use Beastmaster, which I have at level 99, but does not have any job points. I went in naked, wielding a single 1 damage dagger, and I charmed enemies in the zone that I could, such as lizards, lindworms, and spiders, and set them upon the same enemies to try and get these abilities to be used. Melee with your dagger to feed the enemy you're fighting some extra TP, and make sure to stay in front of the enemy if you're fighting a lindworm. This will hopefully allow you to get hit with the Foul Breath ability when he tries to use it on your pet. Now when fighting a spider or lizard, you just need to be within AoE range to get inflicted with disease or evasion down when they are used on your pet. Now once you get hit with one of the ailments, leave your pet fighting while you go show the ailment to Garjum. Once you have one group of enemies' ailments cleared, you want to use those enemies as your pet to make sure you don't run out of enemies for the next ailment that you need to achieve. Now I have only played Beastmaster on a few occasions in my history, so I was very unfamiliar with the job, but really all you need to know is to use Charm to get a pet, and then use the Fight ability so that you can actually seek the pet and have him start fighting one of the enemies. So don't let your lack of knowledge of the Beastmaster job discourage you. It's really pretty simple to do. Now if you don't have access to the Beastmaster job, I'm sorry to say you're in for a very difficult win. You will want to go in on any job that you have as a high enough level to get the win, but not one that is mastered or has many job points. Be sure to use low delay, 1 damage weapons to feed the enemies that we've already talked about TP until the status abilities are used on you. It will more than likely take a few attempts, but success should be possible. This brings us to our final run of the zone against a Hydra. After the difficulty of the last for present day players, this one will be a pleasant surprise and only takes a few seconds to win with present day gearing. Take out the Hydra before he can even use an ability, and the win and clear of all 10 runs in the Mamool training grounds is complete. That's going to be it for this episode in the series. I'll be releasing another one soon, going over the first 5 runs of Libros Cavern. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.